Hey folks, Ghost Cat Cooks. So today we're going to learn how to tie and roast this chicken. This is something that I would do quite often where I worked for my clients. And you can always plan ahead and put it at the right time, take it out, an hour and 20 minutes later, and serve it right away. But what I like to do is put it in earlier, a few hours earlier, and then brown it, let it slow cook the rest of the way, and then the clients could take it out by themselves and have a nice dinner pre-prepared. So, and then, we were thinking also that roaster chickens, the rotisserie chickens at the grocery store are popular, and this is how you can just do it at home if you find a good chicken on sale. And so anyway, we'll cut off a good 3, maybe a little more than 3 foot section of string. This is butcher twine. You can get it in, I got the ball of it here. You can get it in pretty much any grocery store. They may have thinner or thicker depending on where you go. But there's 2 different types of chicken. This is a roaster, and there's also fryer chickens. And fryers are a little smaller. They are a little less flavorful. And for today, I'd like the roaster. It has bigger breasts on it. It's a little older of a chicken. It's got better flavor. It should come out nice and moist. This one had the little pop-up timer, which I just pulled right out because I don't need it since I'm letting it slow cook for such a long time. So the first thing we need to do is, take it out of the bag, wash it, pull the neck and all the other stuff out of the cavity here. Sometimes they hide it up here in the little neck flap, so be sure to check that. And then we'll take these wings and kind of just put them back there behind that, and how you kind of fold them in. See how they are there? And that'll give it a good platform. So then we'll take our string, we'll find approximately the middle, and we'll put that around the 2 leg ends. And for this one, I like to tuck the string through twice, since this is an important tie. So you kind of hold it, together with your pinkies the best you can as you cinch this down, cross the ankles over each other. So see how it's nice and tight there? And then I always put a safety knot. So then these long strings, they go right between the breast and the leg. So put them in there, and then they'll go up here above the wings, and they'll come around the back, and so we'll put them underneath these little tips here, and it goes right here into what is actually the elbow. This is the double bone part of the wing. This is the little drumette part of the wing if you're eating them at the bar. So you see how it kind of fits right into that little cranny there. So then we tie it nice and tight, put a couple knots in here so it doesn't slip. Oops, wrong end of the knife. Sharp end cuts better. So then this is what the back looks like. See how it kind of drew the wings together? The front here, sometimes this will get stuck kind of like that. So pull it down, prop this up, make sure that the string is down here, and that kind of holds the breast up. It keeps the ends of the legs from, sticking out and looking all weird once they're cooked. You can even take the tail and put it in, but it gives you a nice plump roast, so the heat can go in nice. And I don't usually stuff it. They say that it's hard to get the stuffing cooked inside, get the right temperature to kill all the bacteria, so I don't usually do that. Some people do. If you do, you can always take the temperature through the hole there, but in reality there's no reason why you can't. So that's how I tie a chicken. And looks like they left a couple feathers on there. So you get that all nice. Let me dry my hands off here, and I'll wipe up some of this juice so we're not making a huge mess. So we're going to season this, and what this is right here is adobo seasoning. It's a mixture, and paprika, a little bit of smoked paprika, and I like that at least for today, but you can use pretty much anything. A lot of times I'll just use salt, black pepper, garlic, and a little paprika. You know, you can put Italian seasoning in there. You can rub it with jerk seasoning. You know, there's a lot of different things. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong. So I'll just put this on. I stick my fingers in the cavity here, kind of hold it, and you can see how I'm just sprinkling it on. I like to get a good coating on there. The adobo has a little salt. Oh, another thing that you could use that I used to use a lot is the Lawry's seasoning salt, the old classic, and that does really well too. You see, I'm just kind of covering all the surfaces. That gives a good amount of flavor to soak in. We'll end up basting this maybe, you know, during the cooking process, which will help get all that down in there. So now that I feel pretty confident that everything's covered, I got this nice dish here. This one's a little big for that dish, but I think it'll work. It still has some room in the corners here for any liquid that comes out, but that kind of helps keep it plumped up all nice. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm going to clean up all this jazz. Okay, I got the mess cleaned up over here. That always feels good when that gets done. And you can see the chicken in the pan. So we're just gonna put this in the oven. I have the oven set at 450 degrees. So we'll set it right in there like so. And there's the 450. And I have the fan on. So what I'm trying to do is get the chicken kind of cooked real quick on the outside, get a little bit of brown started, and then I'm going to turn the oven down. I'll come back and show you that, and let it sit for a few hours until we're ready to eat. So I'll be back when all that starts to happen. Okay, folks, it's been in here for about 20 or 25 minutes now. You can see it's starting to brown nicely, just starting. So what we'll do here is we'll keep it in the oven, and I'll show you what I did. I turned it down to 210 degrees. I put it on regular bake, but we have a few hours, so we can let it sit and carry over cook. It's 2 o'clock right now. It can sit in here for another 3 hours. If we wanted to be able to serve it right away, let's say we were running out of time, what I would do is put the temperature down to 300 and then let this sit in here for maybe another hour, because this is a pretty big chicken. It was a 6-pounder, I believe. So it needs a little bit to cook. But instead of the 300 for an hour, I put it down to 210, and we'll let that sit in here for 3 hours. So I'll be back then, give you an update and show you what it looks like at the end product. Okay folks, a little update on what we're doing here. So this is the chicken. I wanted to take it out. We're about an hour before we're going to eat. So I'm taking its temperature, kind of give us a little progress report. And we're looking for about 165. And I don't know if you can look at that, but it looks like about 150. Right? This is a few degrees shy, so it's actually probably 152, maybe 153, something like that. And the best place to take the temperature is where the thigh bone meets the body itself. And then you can also kind of go down here next to the keel bone and go in, you know, quite far, so you're in the middle of the breast. And there it is. And see, that looks like we're at 160. So we're doing really good. But just to be sure, and I don't want to run out of time, I put it up to 300. So we'll put it back in the oven. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you was I basted. And sorry about the hand in the way. But what that is basically you just get some of the juice. I've done this a few times already. And one thing I use this for is when the salt, or not the salt, but when the spices start to brown and you want them to stop browning, then I usually go ahead and start basting. And I do that whenever it starts to look a little dry on the top. This just moistens it up. But it also stops the browning from happening so much. So we'll just kind of do that. You get a little of the oil and a little of the broth on there. Some of the flavor from the juice itself. And we will put this guy back in the oven. And I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, folks, here we are. I took its temperature. It's about 165 on my thermometer, which is a few degrees off, so it's probably 168, something like that, at least where I tested it. So this is what it looks like. I drained the juice off just so it'd be easier to handle. So let me put this up in its holder, the camera up in the holder, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see how we did. This is always the part that makes me nervous, you know, being that I'm on camera and all. I'm hoping I did it correctly. I found the best way to pick these up is get with these tongs. You stick it in the cavity, pull the whole thing out. Now you see on the bottom here, I don't know if you can in the camera, but there's juices coming out of the tail. And in cooking school they taught us when the juices run clear, then it's done. And that's the rule of thumb for turkey or chicken, you know, all the poultries. And I'm going to let the chicken rest, kind of let it, all the juices kind of get where they need to be. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to clean this pan out because I want to stick all the cut pieces back in the tray, the pan. So I will be right back. So I got the dish all done. I wanted to show you this. I had somebody mention to me about these marks, these gray marks. And that's because this is porcelain. It's an old porcelain. And old porcelain, when you put metal on it, it'll scrape some of the metal off. That's what the gray marks are, is marks from the spoon. Or fork, or whatever I used. So here's the chicken. It's been sitting for a little bit. I noticed that some juices are running out, so I strategically positioned the towel. You can see them coming out here and going down to the towel. So I did that just so we're not making a huge mess. Right here, there's, oops, I guess he had a broken ankle. So I'm kind of going in here where the legs connect. Get rid of that piece. And I'm just kind of unwrapping this. It's basically just an oval that goes from the wings to the feet and then back. So I'm just pulling that out. If you stick the tongs in here, you can lift it up and turn it around. See what we're doing. Inspect everything. So the best way to do this is cut down, because we're going to take the legs off first. Kind of bend them back. You see where the joint is, so then we try to get the knife in there through the joint and, you know, pull it off. So you got the thigh, the drumstick. If you want to cut those in half, then it's usually a diagonal mark right through the joint. And there's most of the thigh. And there's a little piece here. We can pull that off later when we clean the rest of it. So do the same on this side. Cut down, figure out where it's connected, chop it off, go diagonal here, right through the knee. And I arrange these so it's easy to figure out what's what for anybody that doesn't know. So then we'll come and, this is where a good knife, a good sharp knife comes in handy. If you want to just cut it off the bone, fine. I'm cutting through the bones. This is a little more aggressive, but this is what I'm used to doing in restaurants. So we got the back taken off there. Come through here. Let's flip it over. I'm going to figure out where the wing attaches. Cut that off. Same thing with the other side. It's kind of falling apart even, so it's very, very tender. So then this, you can see we got some of the ribs. Let's pull them off. And my hands are kind of used to the heat, so I can do this. If you're not used to it, don't try that. So you can see the keel bone here. Cut these breasts in half. You just kind of bust down through the keel bone. And sometimes on these bigger breasts, what you'll see in different restaurants is they'll cut the breast in half, just like that. And again, that's the benefit of a strong, sharp knife. So now we got a huge mess here, but it's nice and contained on the cutting board, so we can get it right over to the sink. This is the bonus of being a chef. You get to taste these little morsels here. Sneak them when nobody's seeing. So I'm just rinsing off my fingers. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the roast chicken. Cut up, ready to serve on the table. Put some tongs or fork, they can grab it. And that's it. We're having stuffing I'm making and asparagus that's going to be broiled with butter. So I'm just going to stick this back in the oven. We'll turn the oven off, stick it back in until we're ready to serve it. Thank you very much for watching. I had a great time. Glad I was able to show you this. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully I taught something. So thanks again. This is Ghost Cat Cooks. Tell all your friends, anybody that might like this content, and I'll see you next week. Ghost Cat Cooks.